everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. This is Occupational Therapy Month in the month of April. So we're going to talk about today what is occupational therapy, ADLs, which is activities of daily living, and how does this service support your senior loved one? I know we had spoken about it, a little bit about it on Words of Wisdom last Wednesday, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth about it. And so this way you could understand what your senior loved one needs help with, that we take for granted, that it's something that we do daily, but it's something that is really required for a doctor to recognize their inabilities of not being able to do simple tasks. So this way they can get assistance with it and get the proper care that they deserve. But more importantly, when they go into senior living, this is very much evaluated, and this is where a care plan is built around. So we're going to talk about 10 signs a senior may need assistance with daily living. Thanks to the part of a medical breakthrough, Americans are living longer today than they ever did before. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, people aged 65 and older will represent over 18% of the population by the year 2030. Because realize the baby boomers are growing as well. Nearly double that of today. And while a longer life expectancy is certainly something to celebrate, it is not without its challenges. According to the Alliance for Health Reform, 20% of seniors are living with 5 or more chronic conditions, seeing an average of 14 different physicians, and using about 50 prescriptions every year. As a result of aging, many seniors will eventually require some level of care and assistance with their daily living, but they will find it difficult to ask for help. People value their independence and privacy, and they do not want to be burdened on their family and friends. If you're concerned about your senior loved one, maybe struggling unnecessarily, it is better to be proactive and ease into a transition of a lifestyle. The following is a list of indicators to help family members and friends quickly assess a loved one's condition, identify potential areas of concern, and make an important caregiving decision. 1. Medical condition. A recently diagnosed disease, illness, or injury could affect your loved one's ability to function on a daily basis. Congestive heart failure, shortness of breath, diabetes that results maybe in peripheral neuropathy. So there's a lot of struggle with it with a new diagnosis. A chronic disease like a renal failure is something that might require dialysis. Cancer that might require chemotherapy and radiation. So a lot of these medical conditions also an injury, even a fall, they're not back to their whole self again, and hopefully having something as bad as a fall and hitting our head and having a brain bleed. So there's a lot of dysfunction from it, and it affects their ability to have function on a daily basis. 2. Driving. If your loved one's vision, hearing, or other reflexes are impaired, this may increase their risk for being involved in a car accident. This is a very hard topic, especially with gentlemen, to take away their license. But and a lot of doctors do not want to get involved and actually take away their license. But there is clever ways of doing it anonymously, also. But also, disengage their car battery. Don't have them drive. Just say, we have to bring it to the mechanic. So the more that they're away from the car driving, the better, especially low vision, especially hearing, and if their reflexes are not the same anymore, or the inability of getting in and out of the car as well. 3. Food and nutrition. Take note of your loved one's diet to ensure that they're eating well. Balanced meals and maintaining steady weight. Is the food in the refrigerator within the expiration dates? This is something that to take not seriously. This happens in a lot of households. When family comes to visit during the holidays, the first thing I always say to them is go look at the cupboards, go look at the refrigerator, and look at items in even the pantry. A lot of it might be expired and it might not be something that is edible anymore. And it really is something that could inhibit them, their health. Food and nutrition should be something for an elder, should be something full of protein. That's why there's protein shakes that they can take. And unfortunately, living alone, a lot don't want to cook, so they get frozen meals, which are laden with salt and a lot of sugars. So if somebody's hypertensive, that they have high blood pressure, actually eating frozen meals that have high salt content in it is not good for them. Balanced meals is important. This is where, senior living is a wonderful thing. They don't have to worry about shopping. They don't have to worry about cooking. They certainly don't have to worry about cleaning up. But they get to enjoy a meal with also a friend. It's hard to eat alone. It really is. Breaking bread is a special occasion. For hygiene, take note of your loved one's overall appearance, smell, and ability to wear suitable clothing for the weather. Are the bed linens, bath towels, and laundry clean? Do they look like they've been washed frequently? But also with their clothing, notice their if it's soiled. It's something that maybe you visit often and they're in the same outfit. Do they smell? That means they're not taking a shower. They're not grooming on a regular basis. So that is important as well too. I always say to a lot of my clients, when they take their loved one to the doctor, they're going to be on their best behavior. They're definitely going to bathe and they're going to make sure that they look good for that occasion. But you really should be noticing it on a regular day basis. 5, behavior. Is your loved one anxious, irritable, or depressed? Do they have difficulty remembering names, places, and current events? Living alone or living even two elderly parents living together, there's not a lot of stimulation. There's not a lot of conversation as well too. The most stimulation they're getting from is the TV. The best really enjoyment is getting them out to a senior center and taking them there. Don't have them drive. But also that's where senior living comes into play. There is so many activities that you're gonna have to make an appointment with your loved one to see them. But senior living communities are wonderful, and there's the activities and occasions and music venues are really tailored to them, but also to their differences also. Memory care might have something totally different than that of assisted living. So keep that in mind, that their behavior, are they irritable? Are they answering quickly? If there is also a smell, there might be a urinary tract infection. Somebody is incontinent. They're not taking care of themselves or not hydrating enough that they have a urinary tract infection, which usually is altered mental status and very bitter and very irritable. Don't forget, they're losing their independence. 6, daily tests. Are tests, basic tests of going grocery shopping and preparing meals, becoming overly challenging or time consuming to your loved one? Very, very something that happens all the time. 7, medications. This is one that is something that really needs to be really looked upon. Is your loved one able to manage his or her medications properly? Okay. Sometimes they forget, double up, or not take it all. So that could be something that is really critical to their well-being. Their dosage, their frequency, and changes in prescriptions. A lot of folks, the doctor might change the prescription, maybe milligrams or different medication itself, and they're supposed to do away with the other medication. They might be doubling up on a medication that they're not supposed to. Are the prescriptions being refilled in a timely manner? Are they doing without because nobody's going to get it for them or having it delivered? 8, finances. Is your loved one able to manage his or her personal finances, pay bills, and balance the checkbooks? This is so prevalent. A lot of family members, when they go visit their loved ones, there's piles and piles of mail that they haven't even sorted through. But in that might be the electric bill. It might be their insurance, their car insurance. Or, especially if things are not electronically drawn and they're doing it the old method of hand paying it. they're going to lose their utilities if they're not paid. Also, they might be doing away with that, not having insurance. So that is something, if they can't manage their finances, it's something really to really look upon. But also, here's another thing, exploitation. A lot of things come in the mail that are not supposed to be looked upon or paid upon. There's a lot of scams. So that's another thing that they could fall, very bad too. Number 9, mail. Is the mail stacking up? Do you see past due or delinquency notices? That's very much along the lines with finances as well. 10, safety. Does your loved one remember to turn off appliances or extinguish candles or cigarettes? Does he or she keep the doors or windows locked? Every one of those is very, very critical. I know in our town, we've had many fires that somebody's been sleeping in bed or burning a pot. They're cooking something on the stove and it keeps cooking. There's nothing in it anymore and it's burning. Putting things in the microwave that shouldn't be in the microwave, like metal, but also candles, illuminating candles, and, a breeze could actually put something on fire. Cigarette smoking is big, really is big. But here's another thing, is a security issue. A lot of, I don't want to say scams, but a lot of people go door to door. And if your loved one's back door is open or the front door is open, they're helping themselves in. Always say to your loved one also to ask who is at the door or not answer the door at all. Because quite frankly, some of those are checking on loved ones, knowing that they are alone so they could take advantage of them. So are their doors and windows locked? Very, very important. There has to be a sense of security. So if you have a concern, even with one issue, it's a problem. It's time to take an active role and with your senior loved one's life and trust your instincts. Begin by sharing your concerns with your loved one in a very respectful, non-threatening manner. Let them know that your intent is to understand and respect his or her wishes while ensuring their safety and comfort. Then explore your options. Often there are simple things you can do to provide assistance with daily living. You may consider hiring a home care agency. I always say an agency. Do not get a private caregiver. Most of the cases, the reason is when you hire from a home care agency, they are trained, licensed, bonded, insured. So for safety reasons and liability reasons. They can help with the activities of daily living. They just can't do medication management, but they could actually bathe. They're there also for cleaning the home, cooking meals, taking them out shopping, whatever that needs to be done and guided. Also, home health is another added source of it. Physical therapy and occupational therapy, and getting them moving as well too. Occupational therapists are really keen on this because it's Occupational Therapy Month. They're very involved with the ADLs, activities of daily living. If your loved one needs more assistance, it might be more advantageous and more costly, effective to explore independent assisted living communities, as well as skilled nursing facilities. Certain skilled nursing facilities is something long-term, and it's somebody that's bedbound or something that is not by the license of a senior living community, whether it be independent, assisted, or memory care. But for your family to get together, this is a critical time when you're noticing some of these things are lacking, that you really need to get involved in their care so they can have a better quality of life. And guess what? You are going to have a peace of mind. So to no further ado, I lead you to my website, which is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will find my demographic information, my bio, testimonials, the various options on senior living, resources, a whole library of these Tuesday talks. And now we're doing WOW, which is Wonderful O Wednesday, and Words of Wisdom. And tomorrow, being April 15th, yes, tax day, but we're going to celebrate something else. The next day, April 16th, is National Healthcare Decision Day, and we're going to talk about a day for patients to make known to their medical professionals the kind of care that they want to receive and have their wishes respected and met. Next Tuesday Talks, which is going to be April 21st. This is also Parkinson Awareness Month. So we're going to talk about what should you know about Parkinson's disease and what assistance can you get for your senior loved one. So no better ado, I'll see you tomorrow on WOW. And thank you for viewing Tuesday Talks. As always, a blessing. Make sure you look after your family's ADLs and get them the help and the assistance they need. Bye-bye now. Talk to you later.